War has always been violent and disturbing. Since the beginning of human history, we have killed each other, and since the beginning of time, conflict has been an ever-present entity. However, not until the past couple hundred years have the effects of war been so widely known and present in the societal conscience. The development of photography and expansion of reporting media has created a situation, especially in modern days, where every conflict is viewed almost in real time by the public as it is happening on the ground. This constant presence of the world's eye undoubtedly influences the way conflicts play out, and is changing the way wars are fought and even won. Alongside this, it has an effect on how conflicts are remembered. Before photography, people relied on paintings, interpretations, and stories. Now with photography and in-time videography, there could be actual physical proof of what occurred. One of the first instances of wartime media having an effect on the home front and the memory of the war was during the American Civil War. With the development of photographic technology, the brutal realities of the battlefield could finally be shown to those at home and future generations. Photos of the dead, the destruction. No longer were the witness accounts and artwork that dramatized the events the only way people could see what was going on. This was real. The development of camera technology took off in the 19th century. The technology developed quickly, and by the time the Civil War started, camera technology was at the point where photographers could take cameras to the field after battles and photograph the aftermath. Wet plate photography was what was primarily used during this time. Wet plate photography was still very slow and generally required a few minutes to take the picture. Still images were what were possible, and no moving or action photos could be taken. This is why almost all photos from that era and time were posed pictures. From generals to soldiers to photos of the dead and destruction after battle, photographers had a very hard job, having to bring a ton of equipment wherever they wanted to take a photo, often in a wagon where they had a darkroom as well. It was time-consuming and complicated, but it was something. The American Civil War was the most violent and deadly war in American history, and obviously the war that hit closest to home. Generally speaking, people during this time relied on oral or written accounts of conflict to build an image in their mind. Newspapers were prevalent and kept people up to date on current affairs, but words can only do so much. With the explosion of photo technology that was taking place, the violence of the front was undoubtedly going to reach the home front. Now, first of all, one common use of photography were carte de vistas, small portrait photos typically of an individual that was small enough to place into a pocket. Soldiers would give these out to family members or lovers, and they could act as a way for them to be remembered and thought of by those they cared most about. The soldiers could also carry photos of their loved ones that could provide comfort in the rough situations they had to endure. This phenomenon that gained popularity during this time exists still today. Alongside this, now news outlets and papers were able to publish photos in print as well. People could see the aftermath of battles like Gettysburg and put a face to great names like Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant, or Robert E. Lee. Today, for those history buffs like me that enjoy researching wars and conflicts from dozens of years ago, one of the things we really enjoy is seeing photography from that era. There's a lot of value in written and oral history, but visual is the key, in my opinion, to really understanding and getting past the fluff and exaggerations that come with other sources. Luckily, for Civil War buffs, we have photography, and a good amount of it. As previously mentioned, the camera tech requires minutes to take photos. This led to the popularity of staged photos and posed photos. A lot of the photography from this era is usually soldiers in a unit together all posing for the camera in static positions, or leaders or generals posing for photos. There are virtually no battle or battlefield photos that exist. It is very interesting to me because you can find plethoras of depictions of what the fighting was like from the time, with paintings and drawings and all other sorts of media, but also actual photographs and recordings of actual people like Lincoln or soldiers that fought, and photos of the aftermath of battles. The war is interesting in that way because it is a monumental point and turning point in American history, but also in the history of the world and how it would be told and shown for years to come. These days, none of this is new, as every war is documented to the minute detail, and camera crews follow every unit to record even the fighting as it is happening. As I just mentioned, the Civil War is very unique in the way it was recorded. With the new invention of photography, the distance between the home front and the battlefront was shortened. Alongside this, future generations can view photographs from the era and have a broader understanding of both what life was like and what the fighting was like during one of the bloodiest and tensest periods in American history.
Hey everybody,
So it's Cameron. I'm back. I haven't posted a video in quite a while. Obviously, the scenery around me, as you can see, has changed. That's because I've been in Mexico for about 3 months. I've been teaching English here, and yeah, moral of the story. Hopefully, I'll be posting more videos soon. If you liked this one, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and hopefully, I'll have another one out in a couple weeks. But yeah, that's all I got. Hope you're doing well, and as always, see you on the flip side.